What's up, you guys? It's Jonno! Today I'm going to post up a little bit of a different video. This one's pretty long, and it is a discussion, a very candid discussion between me and my good friend and member of the channel, Runaway Turtle, and he has got a shiny raid seed. This is the shiny raid seed exploit. This is probably the most popular exploit in the game right now for shiny hunting because you can get all kinds of different shiny raids guaranteed, and you can cycle through a lot of different species of Pokemon and they're guaranteed to be shiny. It's pretty cool, honestly. What we're gonna do is sit and do about 4 or 5 shiny raids back to back. I did no cuts on this video just so you can see how fast you can cycle through shinies using this method, and during the video we did a candid discussion on the ethics of this method, the morals of this method, what it means for competitive battle, online gameplay, all of that stuff, and we talked about a bunch of other topics as well, which is why I didn't make any cuts. We just covered a lot of different topics. These are very advanced topics. You must have been covering all of the different topics related to shiny hunting in Pokemon Sword and Shield up until now, or you might not get some of what we're talking about. But I hope you enjoy the conversation, and let's get started. Do I call you Turtle?
You can call me whatever, man. Runaway Turtle. Like, it doesn't matter. Call me Squid. I just changed the name today. It's fine, man.
Turtle Man.
There you go.
No, but like, really, what do I call you?
I mean, I don't have a channel or anything, so it doesn't really matter. Like, Runaway Turtle, whatever you want.
Random turtle guy. Turtle guy with the shinies.
Okay. Yeah, man, dude, I've been wanting to teach you this method to at least get your own shiny den, because, you know, like, channel growth for you would be so big if you just would host a den or something.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do a lot of hosted den, you know, streams and just get insane. Like Gumi Swag got like 150 members in one day. Granted, he was streaming for like 8 hours that day, but still, it was like, bruh, like 150 paid members in like a short period of time. That's insanity. So I
honestly, imagine if you did that. It's like $5 per member. You would get like.
Well, I make a lot off the channel, like right off the top. I make a ton off the channel, so it would literally be like a small amount compared to what I make already. So
gotcha.
It'd be chasing dimes where I already make dollars, but I mean, not to say that it's a small amount of money. Like, I'd love to chase down those dimes. That'd be really important dimes. But then, like, it's a lot of work hosting those raids, and people have certain expectations when they pay for a shiny, and they want to get that shiny, so you have to sit there and host, and they might get mad if you stop streaming before they get theirs. I saw that happen. Anyway, there's just a lot of complications. But then at that point, you're like selling shinies, you know, and I'm like, moral? I don't know. There's, you know, it's a moral conundrum. It's an ethical conundrum. And then what if people take those shinies and go into, you know, battles with them? I don't know. It's weird. Like, I may as well just sell shinies on eBay.
I mean, it's not really selling shinies. I mean, I feel it. I think, when I was watching Gumi Swag when they were hosting Grimmsnarl, one of the guys was shouting out, if you become a mega member or whatever, you get automatic raid privileges. And the other guy, he was saying, oh, don't do that, you're just money grabbing. And they were kind of fighting over the morals of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole conversation, basically.
Yeah.
Before you even get to that conversation, I think it's too easy, and there's a debate on my own part if I even want to do it. The fact is, I could have figured out how to do this on my own by now, but I really have an ethical debate with it where I'm like, as soon as I start doing this, am I just going to sit around and host shiny raids for people for money all the time and then like barely even play the game? Because the whole time that Gumi is hosting shiny raids, they're not playing, they're not getting any of their own shiny hunting done, you know, so it's like, At a certain
Yeah, I
point,
think-
why would you want to do that? You would only do it because people are paying money for it. So it's like it takes
Yeah, and
the
that's
fun
what
out of
sucks.
it.
You get no benefit from it because you have to reset every time.
There's the benefit you get is your subs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, it's a hobby. I have fun. I already make a ton of money off of it. So it's like, do I really need to go that route? Plus, it's a ton of work. And like I'm saying, that whole debate of like, oh, you're selling shinies, or oh, if you pay more, you can get in faster or whatever. People get mad about that stuff. People see you different after that stuff, you know? So,
Yeah, no, I feel you.
you know, I'm just playing a video game, having fun with my subs. I wonder if it'll be, you know, vastly different. And I remember the Pokemon Go days when I had cords, and it was all about cords. I gotta get those cords. And then once, like, the day came that I didn't have cords, so many people bounced, you know? And then I wonder if they patch this, and then suddenly you have no audience because you've been developing all this audience around this one aspect of the game that could get patched. So that's something else I consider too. Anyway, it's a cool debate. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people thinking about this stuff. So hey, I'm hatching slowpoke eggs right now. I didn't mean to. I forgot I had these.
Yeah, well, congrats on your shiny yesterday, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That it took too long.
It took way too long. I could have had 2 in the time that it took. I could have had 3. Some people would have had 3 in the time it took me to get 1.
Isn't that why you're still hunting though? You think that you're gonna get the second one quick?
Right. I mean, that kind of is why. It kind of is.
Yeah.
I gotta have.
Alright, man.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So yeah. So how do you want to do this? So I'll just go in and like keep posting. So are you online?
Yeah, I'm getting online right now. We're already friends, right? You're Lord in the game?
Yeah.
Okay, let me filter it to max raids, and then I'll just wait until I see one from you.
So I'll just host 2020 as the code
Okay. I like that code.
for all of them.
And then I won't be like, what's the code, bro?
Yeah, exactly. So am I like, can I talk while you're
Oh yeah.
streaming
Say
or
as
whatever?
much as you want, man. Say as much as you want. The more the merrier.
I'm saying, am I gonna be on the stream or like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
already?
I've been recording
okay.
for about 7 minutes, and we'll see if I use any of it. I think I'll use the name intro part and a little bit of the
yeah.
debate part.
Sounds good. It's fine.
I'm almost done. Just got my eggs done.
All right, so I have Lucario up right now.
All right. So on the subject of whether or not they patch this, that's kind of why I'm open to like doing it, because if they patch it, it'll just be like, you know, some people got to do it, some people didn't get to do it. Kind of like glitches that they had in Pokemon Go. Like when, oh dude, remember when you could get Shadow Ball on Mewtwo, and no matter what TM you used, it only worked for like 5 minutes, and the word spread so fast, and I got to do like 3 of them before it didn't work anymore. And I texted friends, and by the time they got the text and did it, it didn't even work, and it was only like 10 minutes later. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So actually, on the word of patches, so with the like Slowpoke update, they were supposed to fix things, right? But what did they actually?
When I
what
saw
did they actually
update,
fix?
right, I was like, oh, an actual code update. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some bug fixes. Like maybe the wild area is gonna load faster and not be so laggy. Or maybe, you know, they're gonna fix how clunky it is. Oh, you know what I really want them to fix is when it shows you stamps that you absolutely cannot join and they've already expired. It's like, why did you show me this? Stop showing me this. Like,
it would be so nice for them to do that, but
and then they still don't expire. You can try to join it again. I'm like, stop.
but it looks like they're very focused on kind of the battle aspect, not about the raid and catching aspect of the game.
It's an unfortunate oversight in my opinion, because the cat's out of the bag now. The exploit exists. There's tons of people who have used it, and you know, it's like from a competitive perspective to have this exploit be out there and so easy to do, there's just going to be a ton of people using the exploit in competitive battles, and it just doesn't feel right. It's like if you could print your own TGC cards and then go battle with them in you know, competitive battles. Like everybody would say that that's not fair, right?
Yeah, it's not fair that people can have really nice looking, shinies within the battles, but the thing is, it doesn't really give you a battle advantage, right?
It's true, you still have to train up the Pokemon. I thought about that for a while too, and that's the only thing that kind of makes me be like, does it really matter? You know, because it's not a hacked Pokemon. You still have to level it, you still have to train the IVs, you still have to hope that it has a good special ability or whatever, hidden ability, you know? So, I mean, that's definitely a really strong argument as to why this is totally a non-issue. I'm sure that's why you are like, it's a non-issue, right?
So, from my perspective, I think this is a huge issue.
I think it's a huge issue too. I just have to agree.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's two different aspects to what I think how Pokemon looks at this game. They look at it in the battling aspect, and they look at it in you playing and catching aspect. In the catching aspect is, why can't we catch shinies better? Like, why is there no like rules for how we can improve our raid shiny chances? Right? If they had some of those things, then
nobody would do this.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Nobody would do this.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I agree on that.
If you had a
there's no way to
get raids.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to increase your odds. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because
So,
I won't sit here and do this, but because it's kind of annoying to me that it's so complicated. But then, like, at the same time, there's no other method for me. So I'm just left here sitting with nothing. And all I can do is hope for, like, legends like you who will share a cool raid with me. Like, maybe I get a raid like this, like, once a week. I hear that there's people who can get raids like this, like, 5 or 6 times a week, you know, but they work hard for it. They're in a lot of different, like, Discords and communities for it. But, I mean, I'm playing casually, and I can get them pretty easily. Then again, I have a big channel, but still.
Yeah, the thing that I was telling you on the chat, right? Member chat. It would take me like 20 years to get this shiny if I was doing it the way that they intended to do it.
Yeah,
right?
so that was my real question. The way that you've reset forward days and days and days and years and years and years, is that like basically you discover from that process that the only way you would have ever gotten this shiny is if you were playing on this particular day, like 10 years from now? Is that what that means?
Like not really how it is. It's more of like, so once you set a wishing piece within your den, your Pokemon are essentially set. So that moment that you
it's all set. So then, based on that setting at that moment from that wishing piece in 20 years, like, if you would have done that particular wishing piece 20 years from then on that particular day, it would have been shiny that day, basically.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get it.
that's exactly it.
Interesting.
So, for me, if you think about it, it's 1 in 4,096.
It's still basically random odds. You're just re-rolling the odds of that particular star piece or wishing piece.
So it's not really re-rolling. It's the moment that you put the wishing piece in, it rolls, and your chances are 1 in 4,096. And like you saw with your Slowpoke, it could be over odds, could be under odds. For me, with this den specifically, you see that it's like 5,000 away. So 5,000 is a little bit more than the 4,096 odds. And then if you equate that for you waiting for that den to be available, like waiting a day for it to transfer to the new Pokemon, that's a lot of years.
I gotta tell you, man, that stuff is complicated, and I don't understand what you just said, but I hope the viewers do.
Gotcha.
Telling you, this stuff is too complicated. I'm like, Pokemon, Game Freak, Nintendo, everybody involved in this whole thing, just get one thing straight. If you give us a normal way to get shinies, we will do it. And if you don't give us a normal way, people will resort to this kind of craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, normal people like me will be like, hey, just, if you tell me encounter the same raid over and over again, and I'll get better shiny odds, then I'll go encounter the same raid over and over again, or whatever the process is, you know? But, like, there's no process. They're like, hey, good luck.
Yeah, and again, that's what I think one of the problems is they don't clarify that at all.
Yeah, no clarification. Okay, so this is actually another thing that I really wanted to get clarification on. I need a Poke expert. People are saying that the shiny code for wild encounters is bugged, and that even though Nintendo said what they said, it's not true. and that the shiny odds that they put out are, the code doesn't reflect what they stated, basically. What's your...
Yeah,
I'm like Nintendo or Game Freak or, you know, Pokemon Company, whoever wrote the code, they're the only experts on the code. So I'm just like, I don't know, who can say that they're wrong unless it's them? They wrote their own code.
So that's not necessarily true, because a lot of people who are probably smarter than you and I hack the code and look into the source code and find out what exactly it entails for certain things to happen.
Yeah, so if they're the kind of person who is smart enough to be able to get a job at Nintendo and read like you're talking about, like the top of the top of the top percent of developers out there, and those maybe it's one of those people who just happens to be sitting around spending their time reading Nintendo's code, and that's likely because they would sit around and do that because they find it interesting or it gives them some kind of advantage in their career or something like that, right? They're reading the code and then they're disseminating what they find in the code, you know, and then it's getting picked up by YouTubers and spread all around. So I'm like, sure, it all stands to reason, it all makes sense, everything adds up. So we've got these expert genius level code readers who have read Game Freak's code and said, you guys are wrong. You believe that?
So, from your first point, you're asking about if encounter raids were kind of a little bit bugged. The thing is,
1300 number.
Yeah, the 1300 number. The thing is, that number is based off of rerolls. So if you go on Cerebi.net and you look at those numbers, the rerolls, you'll see there's probably like the second column in that little table. It'll tell you the chance that you have, which is probably like at max 3%. So what they're saying
the rerolls complicate everything.
They complicate everything. So
because we're used to shiny odds given as like a 1 in whatever chance, but the shiny odds in this game are actually calculated in like rerolls and chances upon rerolls and whatnot. So are they just speaking two different languages? It's apples and oranges? Because there's a really popular video that says, yo, this code is wrong, these guys are wrong, they've done it wrong, the code is bugged. And saying that someone's code is bugged and that they sent an entire video game out to production to the entire world and got millions of sales with bugged code is kind of a strong, like, I need to see some evidence on something like that. You know what I mean? Like, somebody cite the code and say, here's where the bug is. But I haven't seen that. So anyway, it's at this point, to me, it's a rumor. I'm like, who is, somebody tell me this code, you know?
So here's the thing, when you're a developer, if you write a bug and it works well, it's not a bug, it's a feature. So
I totally understand that, but like they know for a fact that the community's gonna go out there, read their code, and dissect every single little piece of it. So I'm like, what if it's not a bug? What if they did it wrong just to make all the YouTubers go out here and make stupid videos and look like idiots? I mean, I could totally see them doing something like that at this point. Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I could see them doing something like that at this point. Also, I may make very little cuts on the last little bit of our talking because we had some good combo, and also just to show you guys how fast you can go back-to-back shiny raids. I mean, this is really fast to be able to pull this many shinies. We could do this all night long. We won't, but it's like, it's a little broken. I mean, I'm not a hater, but like, it's a little broken. I'm not gonna say this is like normal way to get shinies from any other Pokemon game. I would call this broken.
It just doesn't seem like this should be possible.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like there's a part of it there where I'm like, I can't let this be fun because it'll ruin what actual fun is, you know. But then I'm like, well, there's a part of me that's like, hey, just enjoy it, you know. So it's tricky for me. I did not realize this was Gallade, and I'm actually like way more excited about it now. I thought it was that other fighting type Pokemon that like has the weird armor on him.
Fish
like super short. Yeah, I thought it was that. So now I'm like, oh, this is Gallade. So I threw a luxury ball at the last one, and it ran. And I'm committed to throwing a luxury ball on every single one of these because they're, you know, they're frustrating. But I really wish that it wouldn't have ran, and I hope this one doesn't run too. I'd like to use it. But I'm never gonna take any of these Pokemon from these types of raids, which is the only shinies that I have from raids, are all these types of raids. I'm never gonna use these for competitive purposes, and essentially I just have them for collector purposes and battling people who don't mind battling me, you know. But when you do competitive battles, it's like they don't get the choice to say, hey, I'm not okay with you using this type of Pokemon. So out of respect for the competitive process, I would just pick Pokemon that I Masuda method bred, or like my Wooloo that I caught legitimately, or you know, some Pokemon that I know don't have any kind of you know, peppered past or checkered past or whatever.
Yeah, and also like one of the things I messaged you, Jonno, it seems like they're trying to punish people kind of for
so
like
I saw that
the game.
punishment video, right? I was watching that Flames video, and I was trying. I'm bad, you know. If you don't say the point of the video in the first like 5 minutes, like I can't make it through the last 5, because I'm just like, tell me what the heck you're talking about, you know. So
Gotcha.
I didn't never see what the actual punishment was. I did leave a kind of funny comment on that video, and he hearted my comment. And you know, creator to creator, when somebody gives you a little bit of tough love and you still heart it anyway, I respect that, you know. I made it was a funny comment. I was like, Blaine's, I don't know how to hack, because he says he doesn't know how to hack his Switch. And then I was like, also Blaine's, watch my video on how to fly through walls. it's like a
Nice.
base funny comment, but I'm like misinterpreting what he said, because he said I don't know how to hack my Switch. And anyway, it's just funny. But he hearted it. He didn't reply, but he hearted it, and I was like, that's class act right there.
That's perfect.
Now
yeah.
he may have just been going down and hearting every comment, but I didn't see a heart on every comment. So I'm like, no, I get this suspicion that he read it, was not offended, got the comedy of it, didn't have any particular response, and just hearted it, which I respect.
Nah, man, he replied to quality.
Well, I know, and mine wasn't quality. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was just good enough. It didn't even get a lot of likes, you know. I would have known it was quality if he would have replied. That's the heart, though, is a reply. It's like it's an acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? I do that too
It's
on my comments. I heart them because I'm like, I want you to know that I saw this, and you'll get a notification that brings you back to my video that says I saw this.
For sure, for sure. So what I was thinking from like kind of these few points about like where Pokemon is going about banning people or kind of
You think they'll
fixing
ban
the
for this
game?
stuff?
But that's my point. Is it seems like they're
Like
banning
Pokemon
more.
Go status? Like, we
From
hate you
Pokemon Go,
guys. We hate
seems
you.
like-
Don't
it
even
seems like-
play our game. Get out of here. Don't play in our sandbox. You dirty
They're banning more
capitalists.
for like battling with these Pokemon than they
Right.
are for just like imagine people who are gate skipping and doing all of these things. There's no punishment for that. It's only if you battle with them.
It's if you battle with them, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can respect that, because it's like there's a very big aspect of this game for a lot of people that's got to collect them all, and then I think for a smaller group, it's got to battle them all. You know, they're really into the battling, and that's what they're trying to focus on, but it's going to be hard for them to focus on battling if there's real competitive issues like this going on. So I think it's smart for them to at least do the right thing by the battle community and, you know, the competitive gameplay community. And I would like to maybe one day, you know, do a tournament, or maybe one day do something like that. And, you know, you can't really do that kind of stuff if you're gonna do all this craziness. That's why I kind of don't want to put some of this stuff on my channel, or at least if I do, not battle with those Pokemon, so it's very clear, you know. Alright, I didn't catch that one either, but that's okay.
And yeah, I totally respect that. Like when you get a hacked Pokemon or a hacked shiny, it's not something that you're proud of. It's not something that you enjoy.
The
Because you
hacked
know it
ones I
wasn't.
just straight get rid of. Those ones I know.
Yeah.
Those ones, you can tell. Shiny Ditto, Japan, with the virus, perfect stats. It's just like, come on, get that thing out of, like, I'll transfer that thing in a heartbeat. Although
Yeah,
I usually
immediately.
trade them because people like them, because they'll use them for their Masuda method. And I'm like, that's fine. If you're just gonna Masuda with it, it's kind of like the whole gotta collect them all thing. It's like, it doesn't really affect anybody if you just sit there and Masuda with that thing. And it's a flex for them. Like, they'll go flex it on their one cousin or their one friend and be like, oh my god, look at this thing. And like, honestly, that's all it's for, is like that one time, and then the rest of it's Masuda method, and it's, you know.
But the best part about it, you got it from Jonno, right?
Yeah,
So,
well, seriously though, seriously, yeah, that honestly, that's a big part of it too. That's a big part of it too. I do consider that greatly because people really cherish. Some people do. Some people really cherish the stuff I give them. Some people don't care at all. It's funny, you know. But that's a personality thing. I mean, I don't judge anybody based on.
no, I feel you, man. You don't know how many of your sobbles I have.
Oh, really?
I don't need any of them, but I helped you get your shiny charms, so I have too many of them.
Oh yeah, because we traded, dude. Thank you so much for that too. Thank you. I really attribute a lot of that to Dirty Bird, but there was a few people that filled in the gaps, and you were one of them. Thank you, man.
No, I mean it was half Dirty Bird, half me, and then like 2 other people. So
yeah, that was a good night because what was it, 5 hours?
It was a hard night because you didn't get your shiny yet, and then the moment you got your shiny charm, there your
dude, I know. It was like, here's your reward, Jonno. Which I felt weird getting rewarded for just like trading every single one of the entire decks. It's like, okay, I am pure laziness right now, but you know, the game is about shiny hunting for me. The faster I get to shiny charm, shiny hunting, the faster I'm doing what I set out to do. So at that point, I was like, let's just get there.
That's for sure. I mean, honestly, there's some Pokemon that are crazy to evolve. Like, for Inkay, you have to turn your Switch upside down.
I heard that, but I wasn't sure if it was clickbait, because I saw it on, like, this article, and it was at the top of Google, and I was like, I'm not clicking this, okay? I'm not. That was true?
That's true, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's like, those things you kind of, if you didn't look anything online or you didn't trade, you would never get that.
Imagine trying to figure that out, seriously. Well, I heard that was an existing feature from a previous Pokemon game. So
that's true.
Yeah, so I guess you could have inferred it if you were like a Pokemon master. But yeah, I remember back in the day, like we didn't play Pokemon, but we played other games like on Sega Saturn and Nintendo, what was it, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube. And we would have to go to like the CD store and get the Tips and Tricks magazine, and then like in the back of the Tips and Tricks magazine, they would have cheat codes, and then we would write them down on a piece of paper because we were too poor to get the magazine. And then
there you go.
You know, and then we would take them home and like do all the cheat codes and like just, you know, play the extra stuff in the game that we couldn't play, like unlimited missiles and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was fun back in the day.
Don't you have a written Pokedex? You have a book, right?
I do. Yeah, it doesn't have the new generation. I'm gonna hold it up. Dude, but if I catch this thing in the luxury ball, please. I got 2 shakes over here. I got 2 shakes. Ah, I haven't caught a single one of these guys. So can you reset your date and go back to any one of these? Is that how it works?
So from my perspective, it's not resetting date. So I just quit the game, and then if I move forward 3 Pokemon, then it'll be a random Pokemon on the one that I host.
But if you go backwards to a date that you already did, will it be the same one, or is it random again?
So there's no going backwards.
Oh,
so
you can't go backwards.
No, so I save right before I go into the den, but I save 4 Pokemon in front of it.
So are you living in the year like 2050 right now?
Here, actually, I'll check my Switch right now. I'm in 4/9/2020 right now.
I am from the future. Wait, 4/9/2020. That's not even that far away, bro. It didn't take you that long to get it, huh?
So no, that's how. So I can reset my clock to the time that it is, which I did right before we started, and then I'm at 4/9 since the time that I've been resetting. That probably doesn't make any sense.
No, none whatsoever.
So I reset 3 days every time I go to a new Pokemon. So from today's date, I've traveled that long. Probably like 4 or 5 Pokemon.
I'm gonna get you to speak English by the end of this video. I know I am. This stuff is really so complicated.
And it doesn't need to be. That's probably the biggest issue.
I just wish they would have done like, hey guys, here's a character in the game, and the character is like, hey, do this right here, and I heard that shiny Pokemon have a higher chance to appear. And I would have been like, cool, don't need any more than that. Don't need to hear from the game code, you know, reverse engineers, Don't need to hear from all the online community and all the clickbait YouTube videos. Don't need to hear any of that. It says right here in the game, here's how you get better shiny odds, you know? Like the SOS system, I felt like that was pretty clear in the old game. Like, even if they didn't say this will increase the shiny odds, it's like, here's a system of hunting. Clearly, I'm going to use it. I mean, they coded it into the game. I should probably at least try it, and then eventually you probably figure out, hey, I'm getting a little bit more shinies this way. Maybe this is the way. It's like, even without all the extra code hacking and all that stuff, you could at least have a pathway to figuring it out in the game.
Yeah, and you know, the thing, it doesn't have to be good or easy or fast shiny
Yeah,
hunting
totally.
method.
Any pathway.
It could be long, like, it doesn't matter, but you just want it to be available.
I'm fine with long, you know. Shiny hunters in general, fine with long, you know. Long, we do long all day long. It's like, this took me 6 days. I like that shiny better than the shiny that took me 1 day. Sometimes, you know.
For sure, for sure.
Anyway, I'm bringing in Gigantamax Meowth. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna bring Mew. I want to catch at least one Pokemon on. I might just raw upload this. I don't know.
You like the gold shinies, man.
I do. I was thinking just now. I was like, if I catch this one, that would be lit, because I legitimately want this one. But that blue Gallade was sick. I would have loved to get that. The what's his name? The Lucario, man, that would have been sick. But you know what? You know, one of the reasons I'm not throwing good balls during this video is because, like, I know eventually I'm gonna get all of these. These raids are gonna come back again. Like, they're literally so common right now that I don't even feel like this is rare or I should get it now, because it will be hard to get it again in the future. It's just, it feels weird, you know? Like, I should be really, really, really excited about a shiny. Like, how can I get a Master Ball? The first couple shiny raids I did like this, I was like, gotta get a Master Ball. And I was like, eh, maybe we catch it, maybe we don't. It'll come back around.
That's true. I mean, and wouldn't you rather do an encounter for your Beware than just get it randomly from somebody who's posting it?
Well, that's the whole thing that makes me, like, scared about this whole situation, and I kind of hope that they patch it for this reason. If I catch this Beware, and even just the fact that we encountered this Beware and all the other shinies that we encountered today, it's literally robbing me of my pure, genuine shiny reaction of knowing that I got it with like 1 in 4,096 odds from a raid, which would be an insane reaction, you know.
Yeah.
But that's so rare, it's probably never happened. But the one Pokemon that, like, maybe I do get shiny from a raid, that'd be crazy. And now we know for a fact that they're going to be doing shiny raid events, and the shiny Magikarps were crazy common. So we have a pathway to get easy shiny raids now. So it's kind of like...
And maybe my perspective, but I would think, imagine you're hunting some other Pokemon, and then the shiny Beware comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It won't mean as much to you anymore, because you've already, like, oh, I can have that anytime kind of thing.
Yeah. And especially if I catch this one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the worst thing.
Yeah, it does. Like, I think of it in those terms, like, it is taking away value from one place to assign it to another place. But the value that I get here isn't nearly as much value as I would have got from the random wild encounter or the random raid encounter. So it's stealing value. It's like, I'm literally giving away my shiny reaction, which is like a big part of my channel. So yeah, I that's why I haven't really worked hard to do this right here, because I think fundamentally it's robbing myself of the fun of playing the game. So, oh, I caught it.
Hey.
I mean, I gotta say, it's still, there's an element of fun. Like, there is. It's not like it's just like, I hate this sucks. Like, this is fun, but I mean, I can't just be like, this is everything. This is the
So
best way to
I
play the
do
game.
have to ask you a question here.
Yeah, sure.
So, would you rather have Overworld shinies or keep them like they are now?
Woo! Overworld. I don't understand any downside to Overworld aside from the concept of the unwanted shiny, which I would argue never existed until Overworld shinies. You never got an unwanted shiny. It's like, it just, that's not a thing. But let's go man, that Chansey was unwanted many, many, many times. So, but I would still go back to Overworld shinies because that was Let's Go, that was Kanto. Getting that shiny Chansey over and over was annoying, but all the Pokemon in this game, I would like a random shiny encounter in Pokemon Sword and Shield would be like, oh, dude, it'd be so insane.
For sure, yeah.
But then again, you could miss it, you know? That's the big argument from shiny hunters, the missed shinies. How many shinies spawned off camera that you never even saw? We'll never know, you know? And it's totally possible, even feasible, even likely, you know?
From my perspective, I loved Overworld shinies. I think they made the game so much more fun because whenever you walk through the wild, you're looking for it. No matter what, you're looking for them.
That's
and it
true.
just made it so much more fun because you knew you always had a chance to get them instead of just encountering things and seeing what you get.
Yeah, and I was always looking at what spawned to be like, are you shiny? And it kind of made every spawn feel like that spawn could be something. But then, like without Overworld shinies, every single spawn, I'm like, you're nothing. I don't care about you. You're nothing. Like, I just don't care about it. But like Overworlds, it was like, you could be the one. I have to look at you. You know, it gave me the shiny check feeling every time something spawned. Oh, I did Colossal by accident. Whoopsie.
We'll make it. Yeah, and I think the Overworld shinies, they look cool too. Like you can see them in their actual like body form. It looks nice.
Yeah, the Overworld shinies plus just the like 1080 resolution and just like the highest quality, you know, graphical experience ever in the Pokemon world was the reason that I did the shiny living dex in Let's Go. But I don't think I would do a shiny living dex in this game because it just feels like it would take too long and the pathway isn't as clear. There's not as clear of a shiny hunting method for this game. Like the pathway for Let's Go was super clear, you know, super clear.
I think there's too many Pokemon in this one.
I would do it, even though it's 400 Pokemon. I would do it and just grind it out, but again, the pathway, like so far the shinies that I've done have taken so incredibly long. And I understand I have less time than I used to have to grind, so there's definitely that. But it's like, I think that shinies are way harder to get in this game, especially because of Overworld shinies. I got so many random shinies that helped me complete my decks because I didn't have them yet, so my living decks just started filling in because of random shinies. And that kind of dumb luck really filled in the gaps quickly. I think it would take me 3 years to do a shiny living dex in this game.
Probably
more. Possibly more because of some Pokemon that only spawn in raids. And then DLC as well, so they'll continually be adding to the list of what I have to get to complete my shiny living dex. So that would be tricky. But yeah, I think it would be 3 years.
So yeah, what do you think about DLC? It's coming out soon, right?
I think it's great, honestly. I was like so bummed about the Pokemon Direct before they made the Direct because I thought it was just going to be Pokemon Home and Pokemon Sleep, and I was like, boring. And then they didn't even talk about that. They talked about everything crazy that I never expected. First ever DLC that we've ever seen. And I continue to maintain that there was a huge missed opportunity for DLC on Pokemon Let's Go. But I think that they wanted their first ever DLC to be a main series game, not a remake. And, you know, maybe they still go back and do DLC because it won't be the first ever DLC. They've now marked that territory for Pokemon Sword and Shield, first ever DLC in the Pokemon brand. But I hope they go back and do DLC for Pokemon Let's Go. I'd like to see a Mew experience that mirrors the original games with like the van encounter, and then also with a shiny variant available. And I'd also like to see shiny variants of all the Pokemon that don't spawn in the wild, like Blastoise and Venusaur, and some kind of story experience that allows you to encounter them and get a shiny encounter with them as well. I think that'd be fantastic.
I honestly love the Let's Go catching experience, dude. The way you throw Pokeballs.
So good. Yeah, so
it felt so kind of realistic, almost like VR.
And I thought that they were going to bring that back. Not necessarily the throwing, but I thought that like some kind of a physical mechanism with a Pokeball, and I thought that they were going to have a hardware Pokeball. And when they didn't do that whole thing, I was like, what? I was so shocked. I'm like, why did you do it for Let's Go and then not continue for Sword Shield. It seemed like an obvious win to do like a Master Ball or do a Great Ball or some kind of updated hardware, and then have some kind of throw mechanism just to throw the ball. Like instead of pushing X during your encounter, you could just throw at any time and it would just throw. Or I don't know, something. But
yeah, of course. It almost seems like it was a completely different game.
Yeah.
Like completely different style of play.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Maybe different developers or something, but yeah, it's weird how they feel so different, but they have different animation styles too. I mean, they were kind of intended to feel different at some level. Dude, I caught that one. Luxury ball. Well, dude, I think that we discussed what we wanted to discuss. This is a really good video, and I'm glad I got to finally talk to you in person for once. And I wanted to say thanks for being a member, and thanks for the donations that you did in the past, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Super appreciate that. I got a couple of shinies from your hard work, so I'm gonna have to name my shiny Machoke. I'll have to name him Turtle Man or something like that. I don't know.
Nah, dude. you still have that Kingler, man. You need to name it Runaway Crab.
Runaway Crab. That's right. That's right. Runaway Crab. Okay. I'll have
name anything you have for me. Runaway something.
He's green, so he's gonna be Turtle something. Okay. He'll be Runaway. I don't know. We'll think of something funny on the stream.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Say anything you want to the YouTube audience.
Nah, I got nothing. Subscribe to Jonno. There you go.
There you go. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. All right, everybody. This was a cool video. I don't know how many cuts I'll do because it was a good conversation. And, of course, add your thoughts down in the chat. You probably already did. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks to my amazing subscribers. And peace.